like every Australian, about once a year we get the itch to migrate north to Bali. Hello, hi, and welcome to yet another hairstyle. I'm obviously on holiday. I don't live here, but I thought because I'm doing yet another sort of travel super light setup, is the mic plugged in? Because I'm here doing like another super light setup because I'm traveling, I thought, let's have a look at another super light setup that you might think about carrying around and see how that works out in another series of photos. I've only taken two lenses, which is this, the 14 to 30 mil. 14, 30. And this, the 50mm 1.8S. That seems a simple setup. What if I want something longer? Well, instead of bringing a longer lens or some heavy 70-200, I instead bought my Sony RX100 Mark 7. It has a 24 to 200mm f2.8 to 4.5 lens, so I can get some reach there, even though it's with a small 1-inch CMOS sensor. So why the 14 to 30? Well, I really want to be able to get really close to things and get that cool ultra wide perspective. I think that is always makes for some really nice shots, and there's some really big temples and things here that I want to fit in. Plus I can focus really close with it. And why the 50mm 1.8S and not the 40mm f2? Well, basically because firstly it's an amazing lens, everyone knows that, it's super sharp, but something that maybe people haven't mentioned, maybe this is straight from my crazy head, is that when you shoot this in a really kind of hazy, humid, sunny environment, it has a really nice soft haze in the background. The out of focus areas are super smooth, and it makes for, if you're restricted to really bright, harsh light, it makes for actually quite a nice look, which is often hard to do. Obvious thing about this is it's just much lighter and smaller, and I have 3 batteries for it. I'm pretty accustomed to making the grades match in between the two, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, so I'm here for a couple of weeks. We're taking photos every day. I'll go through some of my favorites. Also accompanied by, obviously, I'm here in Bali. I bought a drone, DJI Air 2S, and an iPhone, because what's trouble without an iPhone?
At the start of the holiday, we were in lovely Changu. Lovely Changu is so lovely that you have to spend a lot of time in taxi cabs, which is where I took this shot, where I liked the juxtaposition of this seller on a motorbike with a very laden cart versus this lady with her parasol. And then more juxtaposition of this man trying to call himself a grab home from the beach, and this guy just kind of chilling with his ciggy, again with the 50mm. I also kind of liked this idea of a scooter gang instead of a motorbike gang underneath the Doughboys sign. The next morning, it was interesting to see these rice paddies being worked right near where the villas are in the middle of Changu. Keeping with the 50mm. 50mm is going to be the most popular lens here. My wife having a coffee in the nude in the pool. It's the 14 to 30 this time. My boy's having a rare nice moment in the pool at our villa. I liked the way these frangipanis separated out. Then later on that day at one of the beach bars, taking a photo of the GWK tower, fully stretched RX100 200mm. This kid on a bike wearing a punk shirt. I thought he had attitude. I love the chills here. The juxtaposition of the overgrown jungle, the new building, and then the old wires, I quite enjoyed here. Switching to the RX100. This is on the beach at Changu. I just like the splash here. Again on the beaches at Changu. Again RX100, because it's small and I can actually get it out when I'm carrying my son on my back. This guy just chilling in stormwater runoff. Good on you. In front of a beauty salon. This man is impatient. He wants his massage now. At the GWK special park, there was a performance of various Hindu plays. This is again RX100 fully stretched. And then we went to see the statue itself. I liked the way the red stood out against between these two kind of monoliths that I assume are going to be pools or something later. These deep trenches dug in the rock. Then standing at the base of the statue, this is Vishnu's face. You can't actually tell unless you really zoom in that his eyes are actually slightly open. He's looking down. He's not asleep. He's not flying blind. I also like that he's spinning a cool top thing on his finger. Then from the same position with the 14 to 30 at just under 30 mil, this is the size of the statue itself, 120 meters, pretty big. I think I used some AI to fill the corners here because I needed to do a bit of correction to have the aspects look all fine, as you know, when you're not using a tilt shift lens. Inside the statue with these more grotesque sculptures, I quite liked this one. I also liked that the 30mm could focus close enough to keep it in. Later again that day, encountering monkeys at the Uluwatu Temple. These guys are thieves and they've stolen some rubber thing that they're both chewing on, trying to get some nutrients out of it. And this monkey, I don't know what I'm looking at in his eyes, but he was scared of something. Incidentally, they still, because he's a Hindu temple, so you can see swastikas everywhere still, so maybe he knew what was coming for him. Then this shot of the beautiful cliffs that are laden with flowers at the Uluwatu Temple. You can see the stadium in the top left, where we will later be attending a dance called the Kecak dance. An albino monkey, the only one in the Uluwatu Temple. Apparently, when you're the only white monkey in the temple, you have to be kept in a cage because no one else likes you. It's the opposite of how it happens in real life. Again with the RX100 shooting through these flowers at this interesting cliff that looks like it's been quarried. And this, again back to the 50mm, I liked this guy kind of hopping over the edge just to have his lunch in danger. Maybe it aids digestion. This weird beast is called a muntjac. It's not a Pokemon. It's got odd glands under its eyes that secrete stuff. That's why it looks odd. It's not rabies or weirdness, even though its horns look odd. Looking over the cliffs at the Uluwatu Temple, the light was nice. I took a lot more here. Then at the Kecak dance, we have the part of the performance where the monkey imitates the real monkeys in stealing people's drinks. I love the reactions and the mixed reactions of the faces here at this time. Again with the RX100 fully extended and definitely noise reduced because it's night. Another noise reduced shot with the RX100, this time of the monkey escaping from his flaming bonds before the end of the performance. You can see the actual Kecak singers ringing around, and they only say one word, and that word is Chuck. Next day in Sanur, a very, very warm afternoon, so there's only a few swimmers, but I liked the peacefulness of the dragon boats and these platforms that I still am not quite sure what they're called. And then a little bit later, the sunset coming over the mist and the humidity of the day. You can see through the mist there how foggy, I guess, there gets. There's also burn-offs of burning trash, but I still like the way that the light is going through it. And then from a similar position, you can see the light streaming through the gaps in the trees and what the huts look like from the top. And what they look like, according to my wife, is a pair of tits. My son managed to convince someone who had a pet otter to let them take the otter for a walk on its lead, because of course not sure if it's walking the otter when it's in the water. Took it for a swim, took it for a wade. Oh yeah, and this is with the phone, using the telecompression to have this duck and the canoeists and the hut kind of all line up and be nice and telecompressed. Fully extended 200mm. I liked the light coming through this gap in the trees. Made for a nice composition. Following day with the 14 to 30 again, these very empty lounges, I thought looks calm and peaceful. Later that night, we have these barong dancers finally taking a break. A barong is like a hog costume that they use to sort of annoy people down the street and ask for money. It's kind of like lion dancing, but yeah, they're just kind of putting their cymbals to the side and just having a bit of a chill. These are the islands off the coast of Nusa Penida. The small one is called Keningen, and then Limbongan is the big one. I didn't get many good drone shots, and I didn't go to Diamond Bay, and the sun was completely overhead during the only time I could actually launch the drone, so yeah, some missed opportunities there. But some guys building yet another villa. These are kind of endemic to Bali. This is again in Sanur. These are, built kind of over the marshy ground that would previously be used to grow rice, and now used to grow tourists. I liked this shot of the kid going down a back alleyway with some shopping. He looked pretty happy. And also, I like bicycles, and there aren't many. Again, proving I like bicycles. There was this bicycle display in front of a rice paddy, but this is in Ubud. This is at a tourist rice paddy. They have these rice paddies set up where you can just kind of walk around them and enjoy the topography. But there are genuine dudes in the right rice farmer hat, guys in the middle, so you know, I'm sure it gets eaten at some point. At any rate, it was so bright and harsh overhead, and I didn't have a polarizer set up, so I'm just having to soften this with the grade. As you can see, the overhead light is causing far too much reflection again in the water with these flooded parts of the rice paddy. It's still a cool formation, but gosh, it would have been better in low light. A lot of mist in the air, a lot of humidity, a lot of heat. You can feel it. I do like these juxtapositions of nature reclaiming these buildings. Again, this is in Ubud, just walking around to find lunch. I took a few shots at the bird sanctuary, which, you know, really we can just enjoy the 50mm sharpness here. This is an eclectus parrot, and this is a macaw. And you can see the bokeh is quite busy in the background here, but gosh, it's sharp. This is a bird of paradise, and I love that he has got CDs on his tail. As an elder millennial, I really miss CDs sometimes. This is I think it's actually a type of pigeon. He's really got an interesting feathered hairdo that I really would have enjoyed during my rock and roll days. Here's a pelican that's actually quite young, but like just honestly looks like a zombified bird, Mr. Burns, with a testicle for a neck. He was an angry fellow. I tried to get closer, but he pecked me. Here we have a close-up of disco chicken, otherwise known as a peacock, doing full display. And then walking around the Ubud town centre, just again enjoying how the lens does focus fall off and background separation. I quite, you know, spotting some interesting characters while waiting, like this guy hauling a bag of something heavy. This guy who's like, I like this guy's look. I don't think he liked my look. And then just off to the side, down steps, you just have the most beautiful kind of rolling waterways and hills and villas that, yeah, just really can't see in many other places. And this guy, whittling, creating things from sticks. I liked his peaceful demeanor. And then finally, this very traffic clogged pathway through the main street of Ubud. And then this was on our last day, and then after that we were done. Conclusions based on the results. Well, was I right to go away on holiday and only take the 50mm and the 14-30? Well, I definitely mostly used the 50. It was a really solid choice, and I guess if I was only taking one lens, this would have been it easily. As with the 14-30, it's a little different. I didn't use it at the widest end nearly as much as I thought it would, because 14 is very, very wide. I mostly used it in the 25-30 range. So going on that conclusion, rather than use these two lenses, it might have made more sense to take the 28mm and the 40mm, and then that way would have had an even lighter setup. Both of them fit in this chrome cadet bag, and I could fit the drone in there as well, plus sun cream, plus a bottle of water. So that's I think a 4 to 5 litre bag, and I could carry nearly all of my equipment. But the RX100, I definitely used it a lot, and I usually used it at its full extension. So perhaps the perfect setup, in fact, would have been the 28mm f2.8, the 40mm f2, and then maybe the lightest fast zoom that you could get. I'm guessing the Tamron Nikon 70-180 f2.8. And then that would have been a truly proper light setup that would have covered all the bases. But I don't have that lens. Anyway, that's it for that trip. More photo videos coming up soon. Thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe, all of that stuff. And I'll see you with another haircut, hopefully within a month.